It doesn't work as a movie.
Some of the jokes are super funny.
If you skip it, nobody will care.
And I think I see the door beginning to open. El Presidente may be coming out.
Welcome to Kyle and Dave versus the Machine, a video edition. Today we are talking about Woody Allen's Bananas. No, we're talking about a movie that he directed called Bananas, but we will not talk. We may talk about Woody Allen's Bananas. Kyle, tell us your opinions on both.
The weird thing about it is that his banana is peeled.
Wow.
Here's the thing. After having the conversation on our full episode, which I definitely recommend going and listening to, we have a great guest, Jose Luna, who comes on and discusses a little bit of his reaction having grown up in Colombia. So he has a bit of an outlook on what this is trying to satirize. I feel a bit conflicted. I know you are a little bit more negative and I'm a little bit more positive. Like, we're not super far off. I just think some of the jokes are super funny. And I just don't think the connective tissue is what really holds it together. I feel like it's just a series of sketches, barely held together with a plot. I think I might even like this better had they said, let's just not have a plot. Who cares? Let's just have a series of sketches back to back and try and cram in as many jokes as we possibly can. There are times where this feels like it's being padded out so it can be an 80-minute runtime rather than it really feeling like a real movie. But there were at least 4 times where I laughed out loud. I lolled.
Who lulls Dave by himself?
And then I know by myself. And then a few other ones I thought were just well-constructed jokes. There's stuff I like about this because it was able to make me laugh. I'm a bit more positive on it, but I would not say this is a great movie. This is nowhere even near like the top 10 Woody Allen films, let alone like a great comedy movie. There's some good stuff and some stuff that just doesn't work anymore.
I just a quick thought, do we watch a good comedy this year yet?
So there's been a lot of satires, a lot of comedic moments inside of drama films, but I don't know if we've watched a lot of straight comedies.
The Devils.
Laugh riot, The Devils.
I think you put it best. It would have worked better as a sketch comedy thing like an SNL or Monty Python. The gags, the witticisms, the intellectual bits can still hold up and are written and shot reasonably funnily.
Not a word, but sure.
It doesn't work as a movie. It doesn't work as a film. It doesn't work as a story. And it was interesting having Jose on and he having a hope that there would be a satire because it allegedly takes place in some South American made-up country about politics that are happening there, and this thing can't. It's not capable of doing that.
Not only that, but Woody Allen's just not interested in doing that. He did not want to make a political film, so it's this weird excuse to go on a trip to Puerto Rico, really.
The official interpreter.
Welcome to the United States.
Welcome to United States.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and to have fun at the expense of the reputation of communist rebels or whatever you want to call it. So, who cares?
If you want to hear us discuss the actual man Woody Allen, go and listen to the podcast. We do not have time to delve into that can of worms. But what can be said is that whoever his collaborators are with his cinematography, camera operator, you do see the makings of a person who understands how to use a camera effectively and film them in classical cinema ways, right? You can tell that there is an artist behind this that would, I think, be much more celebrated by the end of the 70s.
Yeah.
Right? Like when you get into his big ones like Annie Hall and all that kind of stuff.
That's right.
He knows how to use a camera.
And he can write. And I think we talk a little bit about how this is an era where he's a coming of age. It's a gross term to use with Woody Allen.
He's a 40-year-old man at this point, but sure, yeah.
Well, still attracted to 16-year-olds. He's developing sort of a voice. So this is the slapstick, inane comedy, people-pleasing phase. So it is just a series of sketches to intentionally show people how funny he is. But in moments where he wants to have a cinematic quality, he's got a great photographer's eye. There's some beautiful camera setups where you can tell he has a vision. And it's kind of wasted in this movie. Right. In hindsight, it's hard to tell contextually what it would have been like in 1971 sitting through this. It is reasonably well regarded. I don't know if that's of its time. I think you read some critics' reviews that people did like it in 1971.
Yeah, I think it was fairly well reviewed at the time. I think the reappraisal, whether that's because of the man of Woody Allen or what it is, I don't think it's held in as high esteem anymore. But it's one of those tricky things where something can be very original and feel very relevant at the time, and then 50 years later be like, well, there's been better versions of this over the last 50 years. I think that's true here, and I think audiences nowadays, as much as we make fun of them having short attention spans and stuff like that, I think
what did you say?
Are smart enough now to at least be like, we expect a little bit more about our satire rather than it just being very surface level that this movie goes into.
Maybe it's the internet thing. Maybe we're too smart.
That is maybe the counter argument to that we think we're smart when we really aren't.
We're not smart. A lot of the episode is about, can we separate a person from their body of work? And then this hindsight reevaluation of a person's work depending on how they've lived their life.
I think just to make a point,
tough.
because I'm sure there might be comments like that in the comments, the stuff that I have a problem with in this movie, yes, there's this gross aspect of, again, Woody Allen the man. I just straight up don't think they're good jokes in some of the cases.
You should be a great seller in California.
But that's the thing. There's a joke about liking young
Advanced
women or...
a child.
Doing a sociological study on perversion. I'm up to advanced child molesting.
Molestation. Advanced child
Would
molestation.
that have been funnier in the 70s, and is it unacceptable now? I mean, these are problematic questions in general, and we want to not get into it as much as possible. We're culturally mature now, Kyle. There are, I think we agreed, 5 or 6 particular scenes and bits that would still be pretty funny today. So there is something in it that can still last. But overall, this movie's so dated, and if you skip it, nobody will care. So
What would
you'll
be
find
great
that humor somewhere.
is to have like Bananas, the YouTube cut, which is basically the 15 to 20 minutes that is really funny, and just watch that.
Should try it. New Testament cigarettes.
New Testament, huh?
They've got that revolutionary incense filter. New Testament cigarettes. I smoke them. He smokes them.
Those jokes at work are great. Just watch those.
I'm sure that exists. I'm sure someone's cut it. And they're sketches, so you don't even need the context of the film to
No.
get the jokes. So you could actually pull them out, put them on YouTube video, and you would still find them funny. That is both an indictment of how bad this movie is, but also sort of praise that the writing was strong enough that the jokes are actually funny. So it's kind of a weird, you're juggling.
It is a
juggling
weird
some
movie.
bananas,
Let's put it that way.
right?
It's a weird movie.
In the end, I'm sure that episode will be too long.
I don't know what you're talking about, Dave. An
Anything
hour and
else?
45 minutes on Woody Allen's Bananas. Mwah. The perfect amount of time.
The Snyder cut.
Our episode is longer than the movie itself.
Yeah, we'll see what happens next week on the amazing adventure we like to call Kyle and Dave versus the Machine, saving the world.
One
right?
movie
Or did
at a
we,
time.
Yeah, did we save the world? We're just coming back.
Listen, our deep and rich fiction, Dave, is sometimes hard to wrangle.
It's too
So
complex.
Someone needs to make a wiki page on
A wiki
exactly
page.
how everything is working.
2 words.
Why? Question mark.
Question.